How are you doing, Team Silverback? Today we have Dan here from Brass Monkey, so he's going to tell us a lot more about the bath and how to use it. So I've been using it for a couple of weeks now. We all know, if you follow me on my Instagram or on YouTube, I had a hip injury last year. I get knee tendinitis and a little bit of elbow tendinitis at the minute. So I've been using it pretty much twice a day to bring that inflammation down. But Dan's going to go through the science behind it, and I'm going to tell you all how I use it and the benefits that I've gained over the last couple of weeks. So here she is. Have a look at that. Team Silverback. This was specifically built for me and my size. Brass Monkey, amazing job, beautifully signed up. And have a look at this ice in here. This is where the magic happens. Oh. So like I said, I've been using this to sort out lots of tendinitis issues, and it's amazing the difference you feel the next day. And we've got Dan here. So Dan's gonna start off just basically explaining how it works, how the filtration system works, how you can change the temperature, and give you all the specific lowdowns of this machine. And then we've got some questions that I want to fire at him.
So essentially the unit works now from software. So the unit cycles through freeze and defrost cycles, which is what enables us to have the sheets of ice that emerge at the top. So it's -16 underneath the unit. That creates about 1 centimetre or 2 of ice, and then there's a brief defrost that pops that to the surface. There's a little brain in there, a microprocessor that manages that, and that also manages the cleaning functions. We enable the user to control temperature and manual cleaning from the end panel. And that's also where you press the start button, and then it cleans up afterwards, and it illuminates a little light on the end as well as it does that. Under the hood, the white box there, the grey box there is the brain. You've got the compressor, which is the huge unit at the bottom, and then the filter and the ozonator. The ozonator effectively is the disinfection.
How did you come up with it? And because it's so in-depth and technical, what was your background and how did it all start?
Yeah, so I'm not an engineer or particularly a cold guru. I attended Wim Hof's Adventure Challenge, you know, up a mountain in a pair of shorts kind of thing. Yeah. That was back in early 2020, and then lockdown happened. I was intrigued and excited by the ice having come off of the back of the Wim Hof method. So I decided to convert chest freezer, which is classic. Silicone up the sides, worked amazing for me. Just a few minutes each morning was this boost. And that started to leak after about 2 months. My brother was intrigued what I was doing, and I said to him, I'd like to sack my job off, quit, and start an ice bath company. And he said, I'd like to join you in that. And so it's what we both did. So we both quit our respective jobs, and here we are.
Yeah, this is just like quality build as well. Like, it's just so sturdy and lovely finish to it as well.
So this is our first gym product. So really we've focused on wood and soft aesthetics. Yeah. We're really pleased with it as our first dabble in the world
amazing.
In the world
really
of gyms.
Is good. I get asked quite often, what temperature is an ideal temperature?
This one's set to go down from 5, I believe, but it then comes down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it's down in 0.1 increments. So from 1, 0.9, 0.8, right through to 0.
Right, okay.
You wouldn't ever set this to 0, otherwise it turns into a slush puppy. But you would set this to something 0.4, 0.5, and that will give you essentially
And
ice.
that's what you'd recommend for anyone who's getting one?
Yes, but build up to that. So it's a bit like how much should I bench press?
Yeah.
Well, there's no straight answer to that. Keep it fun. It's got to be fun. If it turns into a battle, the ice will win, not you. So and I've done that. You know, I wonder how long I can stay in. And experienced, you know, after drop as a result of that, which is pretty unpleasant.
And what is after drop for?
After drop is where your core is protecting itself, your limbs get very, very cold, and then as that blood cycles back around your body, the cold blood mixes too quickly with the warm blood, and that can cause uncontrollable, quite violent, it feels quite violent, shivering. There's no great health risk on that. It's not as if you're into
uncomfortable feeling.
It's like a thermal shock. It's a cold shock, really, and your body has to reboot itself. So that's easy to avoid by warming up consciously, not diving into saunas, not getting loads of layers of clothes on and grabbing a hot drink, and of course keeping the temperature something that you're comfortable with. If I was first into ice bath, never done it before, I would make sure someone's with me. I would make sure I'm not in there for more than a minute. Just put your legs in first, because your circulatory system is a closed loop. There are benefits from just putting your legs in. Just putting your whole body will benefit from that. Of course, when you go in neck deep, it's a totally different,
more intense.
So totally different experience. So start warmer than you think, but bring the temperature down quickly. You can bring it down quickly over a number of weeks. And that tallies with duration. Feel your way through that. So
there's definitely like a male ego thing with this as well. Like 5 or 6 lads, they're all like, oh, let's sit as long as we can, which we do not advise to do because it gets very cold. So we're quite sensible with this. We don't let anyone just jump in it and just try and last as long as they can because it's just not sensible. So you definitely don't advise like trying to set people challenges and see how long you can last because it's just not worth it, is it?
Absolutely not. And the key to success in ice is to prepare for it and relax into it, almost relax as hard as you possibly can, which seems a silly thing to say, but that's vital. And then the most important part is exiting consciously. The challenge actually starts when you get out,
right?
Which seems silly.
I found once we put it in, once you come out, it's like an instant like pain. Like I just didn't know what that was. But like I could be in there like just like if I've still got my arms in there, and I'm totally relaxed for 5 minutes, like don't really feel a little bit of cold in your hand, but nothing crazy. Pull them out and they just like sting. That's the more painful.
The capillaries opening back up, and that will adapt over time. You will absolutely
adapt. It feels less now. And now I can get out and I'm pretty much like, that's
nice. You know what you're doing, even I saw you earlier, just putting your arms in from a post-workout, equally will give your hands the workout. Without putting your whole body in. You can do the same with feet, which you said that you do that as well.
Because that's like my routine at the minute. I'll use it probably twice a day, twice on my arms because I've got this tendonitis in my elbow, and then once just knee down, just for my knees and ankles. So that's just putting arms in twice a day and then my legs in once a day, and then I'll submerge once a week. So I only get fully in on a Saturday after a big load of training for that week, and I think that's just because obviously I'm trying to focus on certain areas. So if I'm just trying to focus on my elbows, in my mind there's no point getting all in when I can just put in there. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but if I want to target a specific area, I don't see the point in getting fully in.
I mean, there is no right or wrong. When we first met a little earlier, you said that you've been feeling your way through it, and I think that's a brilliant thing to hear. That's how it should be. Use your intuition and keep it fun, play with it, and then adapt as you move forward. I use visualization. Imagine the blood pumping, imagine the brown fat activating, the heat generating.
That's something I do often when I've got in there for 5 minutes. It's just a time for me to like visualize about my goals and how I want my season to go, and visualize myself achieving those goals and working through that season. You kind of forget about the cold because you're just in there nice and relaxed. And it's very often like, unless you actively meditate or things like that, it's very rare that you just have 5-10 minutes of just pure thinking time, really not really doing anything else.
What have the results been like for you in the first
really
weeks?
Good. Like my arms kind of sped up recovery massively, so it was on and off. I could feel it on and off for a couple of weeks, and then since I've been using this, pretty much it's allowed me to get back to training now. So now I'm just doing it as like a prevention now, so it doesn't come back. I've always had a bad left ankle, and that's what I think essentially gave me my IT band syndrome. I normally get tendonitis in my right knee because I'm transferring my weight because of my hip. So again, I can manage it now and I can still train fully. But so now I use that as like a prevention as well, so it doesn't come back.
And the science is robust on that. So when you get in an ice bath, but I would say equally a cold shower, it's not just about ice baths. In the first 30 seconds to a minute, there's a 530% increase in norepinephrine, noradrenaline. Norepinephrine is going to do then a number of things. It is a really powerful hormone and neurotransmitter. So from a neurotransmitter point of view, you've got the focus connected to the moment, which makes sense. You've just dunked in ice. Your body wants to bring you into the moment. It makes sense. But it's all because it's also an anti-inflammatory. Essentially, it's reducing inflammation in the brain and releasing serotonin as well. That's trapped in the brain. So there's a feel-good, almost dopamine hit as a result of that. But from your point of view, then the norepinephrine is of course across your whole body. Is kind of reducing inflammation. The cold then, that cycle effectively closes. Norepinephrine also activates brown fat. So brown fat is it helps you to warm up through thermogenesis, really, rather than shivering. So naturally you would expect to emerge from water shiver, but the adaptation that occurs over time is effectively you develop more and more brown fat. And your body knows to develop more brown fat and turn white fat into brown. And brown fat is essentially white fat that's dense in mitochondria, dense in energy.
Right.
The norepinephrine triggers the mitochondria to burn the brown fat to give you that metabolism boost. So you're warming from fat rather than mechanical shivering. So there are very specific things that go on in there. And that's why there's a balance really between using it as a tool, as you are, as an anti-inflammatory tool, but also starting to see it as a workout in itself. There are adaptations that occur over time. As you've got to where you are in the CrossFit world, you've adapted over, is it 8
years? Yeah, that's a common question. Like people are like, how do you do the volume that you do? It's like, I've not done it over half a year, I've done it over 8 years. And it's the same thing, like some people can go in there for 30 minutes. It's like, how is that possible?
It's
exactly the same.
Absolutely.
I've used like cold baths during major competitions. Every time I compete, I'll make sure I get an ice bath after each day. In the open season, like obviously it's a 5-week season, I'll probably have an ice bath. I used to have one 3 or 4 times a week because you're doing the same workout maybe 4 times and you want to get that recovery quick. But a lot of people said it stops the adaptation. So obviously when you're training, you're kind of slightly tearing your muscle fibres and then they're repairing and you're growing. And a lot of people say if you do it too often, this can actually stop the adaptation. I'd just like to know your thoughts on that. And
the science is flaky, but there is some science, and the science is contradictory. As I understand, the cold is so powerful at stopping inflammation that if you want the positive benefits of inflammation post-workout, don't use it too soon. So you wouldn't end a workout and then an intense, where you're expecting to increase strength, grow muscle. My understanding is that using the ice bath within hours of that is a bad idea, and it needs to be left many hours later. So that process is finished, then use the cold. So you could theoretically go in more than once a week, but you would create space in that, which is difficult for you because you work out frequency.
So for someone like me, and obviously this relates to a lot of people because a lot of people watch channel are into CrossFit, so I train for an hour and a half in the morning, and that's normally a lot of gymnastic pulling. So for me, that's where I'm using the most of this arm. So I have been doing a session and probably just dip my arms in 10 minutes, 15 minutes after. Actually, no, I stretch first for about 25, 30 minutes, and then I put my arms in. And then I'll have a gap, but in that time I'm doing whatever I need to do in the day. And then I come in again at train till 5 till half 7. So I've not really got the chance to really wait that long. So I don't know if for me just putting my arms in, is that okay to do that short after training because I'm not fully submerging, so I'm not putting like my big muscle groups?
As I understand, absolutely. Absolutely. There are athletes like Mo Farah, as who I understand, because it's more endurance based. The ice is a very different thing then. So that actually improves performance. So the benefits of they don't want inflammation. They want energy back in the cells as fast as possible. The ice helps do that. So it's different depending on if it's more cardio based versus trying to build muscle of any type.
And you said something about earlier you shouldn't have a hot shower straight after. So I know for me, like it just feels like the natural thing to do when you're really cold is to get somewhere really hot, really warm. And obviously that's not a good idea.
No, definitely not. And there are 2 reasons for that. The first is after drop that we mentioned. So essentially the cold blood in the limbs can circulate to the core, the heart, too fast because your body thinks, all right, we're warmed up again, and you're not warmed up again. You've got loads of cold blood in the limbs. So then you end up in a very unpleasant situation potentially. Not necessarily guaranteed, but you're giving yourself that potential to end up in trouble, shivering, feeling really grim. It can take a while to recover from that, as in 30 minutes, an hour, it depends how brutal that's been. The second reason is you're potentially throwing away a lot of the benefits of cold. So that metabolic development, that idea of brown fat, that idea of becoming more fat burning than and carb, you know,
Yeah.
all that comes, that can be accessed through the cold as well. But if you then jump into hot straight after you just end the session, your body hasn't had time to adapt and finish that. The only caveat is if you're going to do contrast therapies, so like the Finnish are famed for,
Yeah.
into a sauna, into the ice, into the sauna, into the
Yeah,
ice.
I've seen that.
Great thing to do,
Right.
but they always end cold.
Okay.
When I first started cold showering, I did the same thing. Got this idea of like Tabata showers. So I did 20 seconds cold, 10 seconds warm, 20 seconds, and that was just me playing because the first time I went in, it was awful.
So that was helping you build up to...
It helped me build up, and then suddenly I was like able to do a minute, and I end every hot shower with a cold.
Right.
It's an easy way to do it. So anyone that wants to kind of give this a try, end your hot shower with 10 seconds of cold.
I know when I started, I didn't know how long to go in for,
Yeah.
or how quickly you should progress.
Yeah.
So have you got like a general sort of guide for people to follow?
If you were starting out, I would say you would want to be in an ice bath for about a minute.
Okay.
No more than a minute, absolutely.
That's fully
Yeah.
submerged?
Fully submerged, or
Yeah.
you might just try your legs at first. There is no real reason to be in an ice bath or a cold shower for more than 2 minutes. But literally to get those benefits, norepinephrine, the 530% increase, that's 30 seconds.
Okay.
So you can do a 30-second cold shower and leave feeling like a badass.
Thank you so much, Dan. I really appreciate having this bath because I know it's going to help my season, help my recovery. Thank you for giving me and the audience a lot more information about them. If anyone wants to drop you a link, where can people find you?
brassmonkey.co.uk or email me, dan@brassmonkey.co.uk as well.
Yeah, and you've got Instagram as well?
Brassmonkey Eyes.
Brassmonkey Eyes. So yeah, go give them the follow, guys. They're a new startup company, so all the support you can give them, really appreciate it. So go over to their Instagram, give them a follow. But we've done our ice therapy for this morning. Now we're going to go get some food, and then we've got some big lifting later. So we're here, session number 2. Fairly light one today. We've got 8 sets of 2 power snatch. We'll probably work up to 110 last set. We'll start at 80 kilos, and then we'll do 8 sets all the way up to 110. And then we've got power clean jerks. Same again, 8 sets of 2. And that's pretty much me done for today because I'm only doing gymnastics once a day at the minute for my arm. So feeling pretty good, but I don't want to get back into full gymnastics too quick. So after this week, next week I'll be back on full gymnastic volume. So we've got Hayden, David and Zoe with us, and we're all going to throw some big weights around. We're about to jump in this bad boy again. I hope you all enjoyed the video and learned a little bit more about Brass Monkey as a company and the benefits of cold therapy and this ice bath. It's great having Dan down. I learned a lot because I've just been going off field, but to actually know kind of a bit more of the science and his sort of idea about creating the company, it was really good. So hope you enjoyed it. We're ramping up for the Open. The season starts in about 3 weeks, so I can't wait. We'll be recording some of that stages, hopefully recording all the stages all the way through the whole season. So let's get fit, let's get ready for this big season ahead. Second dip, finish the day strong. Woo! Please, as always, like and subscribe to the videos. Really helps the channel grow. Woo! So cool.